Burkina Faso, a nation of proud people and rich culture, found itself in a deepening chasm of instability, racked by an escalating wave of relentless extremist violence that tore at its very fabric. The once vibrant landscapes were scarred by the constant fear of attacks, displacing countless families from their ancestral lands and dimming the light of hope that once shone so brightly. The government's perceived inability to stem this tide of terror led to a pervasive sense of frustration and disillusionment among its weary populace, who desperately yearned for a true change. Their cries echoed across the arid plains, a profound plea for someone, anyone, to rise and confront the encroaching darkness that threatened to consume their beloved homeland entirely. The nation's economic landscape, already fragile, crumbled further under the relentless pressure of insecurity, with vital trade routes disrupted and agricultural activities severely hampered. Basic necessities became luxuries for many, exacerbating an already dire humanitarian crisis where access to food, water, and medical care was increasingly precarious. Children, the future of the nation, saw their education disrupted, their innocent eyes reflecting the hardship and uncertainty that shadowed their young lives. The once resilient spirit of the Burkinabe people was tested to its absolute limits, yet beneath the surface, a simmering determination to survive and reclaim their future remained unyielding. In this crucible of suffering and despair, a new, resolute figure began to emerge from the ranks of the military, his name whispered with a blend of curiosity and desperate hope: Captain Ibrahim Traoré. He was not a politician, nor a seasoned diplomat, but a young, disciplined officer who had witnessed firsthand the devastating impact of the violence on his fellow citizens. His reputation for bravery and unwavering commitment to his soldiers grew steadily, painting a picture of a leader who stood shoulder to shoulder with those on the front lines, sharing their hardships and their fears. He embodied a radical departure from the traditional political elite, signaling a potential shift towards a more decisive approach. Traoré's voice, though calm, carried an undeniable weight, resonating with the widespread yearning for effective action against the persistent extremist threat. He spoke not of political maneuverings but of direct intervention, of protecting the innocent, and of restoring the nation's dignity, a message that struck a profound chord with a populace tired of empty promises. His commitment to the common soldier and the suffering civilian distinguished him, making him a symbol of the people's aspirations for a leader who truly understood their plight. The whispers of his name grew louder, transforming into a collective plea for him to step forward and lead the charge against the encroaching darkness. The military, too, was fractured by the escalating conflict, with many rank-and-file soldiers feeling abandoned and under-equipped in their fight against a determined and ruthless enemy. Traoré, already respected for his tactical acumen and his genuine care for his troops, became a rallying point for those within the armed forces who believed a more aggressive stance was imperative. His presence infused a sense of renewed purpose and determination into the weary ranks, who saw in him not just a commander, but a comrade willing to face any danger alongside them. His leadership began to foster a powerful sense of unity amongst disgruntled factions, pointing towards a necessary, radical shift. Thus, against a backdrop of national crisis, where the very survival of Burkina Faso hung in a precarious balance, Ibrahim Traoré began his ascent. He was not seeking power for personal gain, but rather seemed compelled by a profound sense of duty to his homeland and its suffering people. His emergence was a reflection of the nation's deepest desires for change, for security, and for a future free from the suffocating grip of terror. The stage was set for a dramatic confrontation with the forces of instability, and the young captain, with the hopes of a nation resting squarely on his shoulders, was prepared to lead the charge, come what may. Ibrahim Traoré's journey to the helm of a nation was not paved with traditional political campaigns or diplomatic maneuvers, but rather forged in the unforgiving crucible of combat, amidst the desolate landscapes where the fight against terrorism raged relentlessly. His early military career was defined by his unwavering dedication to his country and his fierce commitment to protecting its citizens, distinguishing him as a pragmatic and highly effective officer. He had spent years embedded within the very heart of the conflict zones, experiencing firsthand the brutal realities faced by his fellow soldiers and the profound despair gripping the civilian population. This direct exposure instilled in him a deep understanding of the challenges, shaping his unique, often unconventional, leadership style. As a captain, Traoré earned the profound respect of his peers and subordinates through his personal bravery and an uncanny ability to lead from the front, always placing himself in harm's way alongside his troops. He was renowned for his clear thinking under pressure, his strategic foresight, and his unwavering resolve in the face of overwhelming odds. Unlike many who sought positions of power from behind desks, Traoré embodied the spirit of a true field commander, earning the trust and loyalty of those who fought beside him. His reputation spread quickly, not through official channels, but through the vital whispers of the soldiers, a powerful testament to his authentic leadership qualities. The frustration within the military ranks had reached a boiling point, fueled by a perceived lack of adequate resources, strategic missteps, and a growing sense that the nation's leaders were detached from the harsh realities on the ground. Soldiers felt increasingly isolated and vulnerable, fighting a sophisticated enemy with insufficient support, leading to widespread demoralization. It was within this climate of profound disillusionment that Traoré's direct and decisive approach began to resonate powerfully, offering a glimmer of hope where cynicism had firmly taken root. His clear articulation of the problems and his proposed solutions were a stark contrast to the perceived inaction of the existing regime, fostering an undeniable magnetism. On September 30, 2022, the simmering discontent boiled over, and Ibrahim Traoré, alongside a coalition of disaffected officers, executed a swift and largely bloodless coup, seizing control of the government. This was not a power grab in the traditional sense, but rather a desperate act born out of a profound conviction that the nation was spiraling towards an irreversible collapse if the current trajectory continued. The move was met with a complex mix of apprehension and palpable relief by a populace desperate for stability, weary of the constant insecurity, and yearning for a decisive change in leadership that would finally prioritize their safety. Traoré's initial address to the nation was devoid of political grandstanding. Instead, he spoke with raw honesty about the dire state of the country and his unwavering commitment to tackling the extremist threat head-on. He articulated a vision of national unity and self-reliance, emphasizing the need for every Burkinabe citizen to contribute to the collective effort of reclaiming their sovereignty. His words were not just promises, but a solemn vow to protect his people, resonating deeply with those who had long felt abandoned and unheard. The public, though cautious, sensed a genuine dedication, a stark departure from the often hollow rhetoric of the past. His ascent to the interim presidency marked a pivotal moment in Burkina Faso's turbulent history, signaling a radical shift from a perceived state of passivity to one of resolute action. Traoré's path to leadership was not one of ambition for power, but rather a reluctant yet firm acceptance of a weighty responsibility, driven by the profound suffering of his people and the imminent threat to his nation's very existence. He stepped into the leadership void with a clear mandate from both the military and a desperate populace, ready to confront the monumental challenges that lay ahead, armed with an unwavering resolve and a profound sense of duty to his beloved homeland. As Ibrahim Traoré began to consolidate his authority and implement his vision for a more secure Burkina Faso, the shadows of internal and external opposition began to lengthen ominously, threatening to engulf his nascent leadership. His decisive actions against the extremist groups, though applauded by many, inevitably challenged entrenched interests and disturbed the delicate balance of power within the region. Those who benefited from the previous instability, or who feared the loss of their own influence, began to plot from the darkness, seeing his rise not as a solution, but as a dangerous disruption to their carefully constructed agendas. The stakes were incredibly high, and the battle for the nation's soul was far from over, merely shifting to a new, more insidious front. The radical changes Traoré sought to implement, particularly his firm stance on national sovereignty and his unapologetic pursuit of justice, inevitably created powerful enemies. His commitment to rooting out corruption and strengthening the military's capabilities directly threatened individuals and factions who had long profited from the nation's instability. These elements, often deeply embedded within the very structures of power, viewed his unwavering resolve as a direct threat to their illicit gains and their continued existence. They understood that Traoré's success would mean their certain downfall, fueling a desperate and dangerous desire to eliminate him before his reforms could take full effect. Whispers of discontent and covert plots began to circulate through the corridors of power and beyond, hints of a sinister design to undermine or even remove the new interim president. Intelligence reports, often fragmented and difficult to verify, painted a disturbing picture of a conspiracy brewing in the shadows, involving a complex web of disgruntled political figures, disillusioned military elements, and external forces with their own vested interests in maintaining the nation's chaos. The air grew thick with suspicion, and security protocols around Traoré were significantly tightened, reflecting the very real and escalating danger that surrounded him. Every public appearance, every journey, became a calculated risk. It was against this backdrop of escalating tensions and covert machinations that a truly harrowing event unfolded, a chilling testament to the depth of the forces arrayed against him, a deliberate assassination attempt designed to silence Ibrahim Traoré forever. The details remained shrouded in a fog of speculation and official discretion, but the intent was horrifyingly clear: to eliminate the burgeoning leader before he could fully solidify his reforms and genuinely empower the Burkinabe people. This brazen act sent shockwaves through the nation, demonstrating the desperate measures his adversaries were willing to undertake to maintain the status quo of instability and their own dominance. While the specifics of the attempt have been largely withheld from the public for security reasons, it is understood that the plot was meticulously planned, involving multiple actors and a precise execution strategy. The very fact that Traoré survived spoke volumes not only about the effectiveness of his security detail but also about a remarkable stroke of fortune, perhaps even divine intervention, in the face of grave danger. The incident underscored the immense personal risk he was taking by assuming leadership, a stark reminder that the fight for Burkina Faso's future was not merely political, but a very real battle for his very life. The assassination attempt was a stark, brutal reminder that leadership in such volatile times comes at an extraordinary, often life-threatening, cost. It served as a grim confirmation that Traoré's path would be fraught with peril, forcing him to navigate a treacherous landscape where betrayal could lurk around any corner. This dark moment, though intended to break his spirit and halt his progress, instead ignited an even fiercer resolve within him, hardening his determination to fulfill his mission. The near-fatal encounter became a crucible, forging a leader even more committed to his people, willing to confront any threat to secure their long-awaited peace and stability. The immediate aftermath of the assassination attempt on Ibrahim Traoré was a maelstrom of shock, fear, and a furious determination that rippled across Burkina Faso. While official statements were carefully worded to avoid panic, the very existence of such a plot ignited a profound sense of outrage among the populace, who saw it as a direct assault on their newfound hope. The air was thick with tension, as security forces launched a swift and uncompromising investigation, determined to unmask those responsible for the heinous act and send a clear message that such treasonous attempts would not be tolerated. This moment became a critical turning point, solidifying public opinion in unexpected ways. For Ibrahim Traoré himself, surviving such a brutal and calculated attempt on his life was not merely a stroke of luck, but a profound and transformative experience that deepened his already unwavering resolve. The brush with death reinforced his conviction that his mission was not just necessary, but divinely ordained, strengthening his belief in the righteousness of his cause. He emerged from the shadows of this peril not weakened or fearful, but more resolute than ever, imbued with an even greater sense of purpose and an unshakable determination to cleanse his nation of the forces of chaos and betrayal that sought to undermine its progress. The public reaction to the failed attempt was overwhelmingly one of solidarity and renewed support for Traoré. People who had been skeptical, or even indifferent, were deeply moved by the audacity of the attack and the courage he displayed in the face of such danger. His survival, often viewed as miraculous, became a powerful symbol of resilience, cementing his image as a leader who truly stood apart, willing to face death for his country. Rallies and demonstrations of support, both spontaneous and organized, erupted across the nation, demonstrating a surge of national unity that transcended traditional divides, consolidating his popular mandate. The incident also served as a stark, undeniable wake-up call for the internal factions within the military and government who might have harbored lingering doubts about Traoré's leadership or entertained thoughts of resistance. The swift and decisive response to the plot, coupled with the overwhelming public backing, sent an unequivocal message. The new leadership was firmly in control and prepared to use all necessary means to secure the nation. This firm stance effectively quelled any further overt attempts at destabilization, forcing potential adversaries to reconsider their strategies and perhaps even align themselves with the burgeoning new order. Beyond the immediate security implications, the assassination attempt inadvertently became a powerful catalyst for accelerating Traoré's reforms. The near-death experience provided him with an undeniable mandate to act swiftly and boldly, cutting through bureaucratic red tape and resistance to implement his vision for a more robust and secure Burkina Faso. Resources were reallocated, military strategies refined, and a renewed emphasis placed on national self-reliance, all propelled by the urgent realization that the nation could not afford to falter in its fight against both internal and external threats. The peril had, paradoxically, brought forth a period of decisive and rapid transformation. Thus, instead of breaking his spirit or derailing his mission, the assassination attempt inadvertently solidified Ibrahim Traoré's position as a formidable and unyielding leader. It transformed a moment of profound vulnerability into a source of immense strength, showcasing his personal bravery and deepening his bond with the Burkinabe people. His survival became a beacon of hope, an enduring symbol of the nation's indomitable spirit, and a clear sign that the path to a stable and secure future, though fraught with danger, would be pursued with unwavering courage and an iron will, no matter the personal cost. With his authority consolidated and his resolve hardened by the harrowing experience of the assassination attempt, Ibrahim Traoré fully embraced the mantle of interim president, not as a title of power, but as a solemn duty to his struggling nation. His ascendance was less a political coronation and more a profound recognition of his unique ability to lead Burkina Faso through its darkest hour. He understood that the trust placed in him by his people and the military was a sacred bond, one that demanded unwavering dedication and a tireless commitment to the daunting task of national reconstruction and security. He carried the weight of their hopes with profound humility and steely determination. His presidency immediately marked a discernible shift in the nation's strategic approach to security, pivoting towards a more assertive and locally driven campaign against the extremist insurgency. Traoré emphasized national mobilization, urging every citizen to contribute to the collective defense of their homeland, fostering a spirit of unity and self-reliance previously unseen. He restructured military operations, prioritizing the equipping and training of local defense volunteers, empowering communities to protect themselves, and demonstrating a profound trust in the resilience and courage of the Burkinabe people. This grassroots approach invigorated the fight, instilling a sense of ownership in the struggle. Beyond the immediate security challenges, Traoré also articulated a broader vision for Burkina Faso's future, one rooted in economic sovereignty, social justice, and a renewed sense of national pride. He spoke passionately about diversifying the economy, investing in education and healthcare, and ensuring that the nation's vast natural resources benefited all its citizens, not just a select few. His discourse was consistently focused on the welfare of the common person, resonating deeply with a populace yearning for tangible improvements in their daily lives, moving beyond the immediate crisis to build a foundation for long-term prosperity. Yet, despite the significant strides made under his leadership, the mission remains very much unfinished, a complex tapestry of ongoing challenges that demand continuous vigilance and immense perseverance. The extremist threat, though diminished in some areas, continues to adapt and pose a significant danger, requiring constant tactical innovation and sustained military pressure. Furthermore, the deep-seated socioeconomic issues that contributed to the initial instability, poverty, inequality, and lack of opportunity, are vast and complex, requiring sustained investment and bold policy reforms to truly transform the lives of the people. Ibrahim Traoré's leadership, forged in the crucible of conflict and tempered by betrayal, has become a symbol of resolute defiance against overwhelming odds. He personifies the unwavering spirit of a nation determined to reclaim its destiny, to break free from the shackles of external influence and internal strife. His story is a powerful testament to the extraordinary courage required to lead in times of profound crisis, where every decision carries immense weight and the shadow of danger never truly recedes. He walks a path fraught with peril, but with the hopes of a nation fueling his every step. The journey of Ibrahim Traoré and Burkina Faso is a compelling narrative of struggle, survival, and the relentless pursuit of self-determination against a backdrop of global indifference and complex geopolitical forces. It is a story still being written, day by day, on the dusty plains and in the bustling cities of a resilient nation. His leadership, born from necessity and cemented by an assassination attempt, stands as a beacon of hope, reminding the world that even in the darkest of times, true courage and unwavering commitment can ignite the flame of change, pushing a nation towards a future of peace, prosperity, and unwavering sovereignty. If Ibrahim Traoré's incredible journey moved you, if his resilience resonated deep within your spirit, then please show your support by giving this video a heartfelt like. Share this story with those who need to hear it, and leave a comment below with your thoughts. Your engagement helps us bring more powerful narratives to light. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring tales of courage and leadership. Thank you for watching, and stay strong.